So having reached Ratnagiri, we now almost reached Goa. I think we were about 100 kilometers or so away, which by my calculation meant just about 4 days, 4 to 5 days of paddling. I think with most long distance runners, you get this when you're right at the end and you see the finish line, you kind of get this last shot of adrenaline that pumps through you, and you're like, okay, cool, I think I'm just going to sprint this last bit. So we had this mad rush that, okay, we're just going to run through this last finish line. So starting out on day 12, we felt pretty good about ourselves, and it was all about to go horribly wrong. Day 12 evening was one of the most rough conditions that we faced on the water. We were typically about 3 kilometers out during this whole stretch. So it was pretty far out, but the waves were really choppy, and the wind would bring these long waves, and they were just like tied right over you. The only good point being that they were assistive waves because the wind was behind you. But just short of landing, and we decided that we landed this small beach strip called Godavne, and so Godavne was about a 6 to 7 kilometer strip, and we had got a hotel down at this place called Ambolgarh. So the plan was pretty simple. Dad would bring the car over up to Godavne. We'd prop the kayak on the car, drive down to the resort, and the next morning drive back up and start from where we stopped. In itself, the plan was rather simplistic, but we hadn't accounted for a couple of things. One was how crazy the water was and how windy it would get out there. And the second was that Godavne in itself was a totally inaccessible beach by anything. So there was no way that you could get a car down there. You couldn't even climb and get the kayak out because the whole beach strip is cut off by immense sheer rock. So almost like a hill and a road that goes above the hill.
I was supposed to go to Ambolgarh, so we nearly reached nearby, but nobody knew where is the Godavne beach is, because that is the predetermined destination as for Kaustuv. Generally, all these beaches, they were at the ground level, but this particular place, Godavne, here this is a sort of a part of land going into the sea, a sort of peninsula. So on the east side of this peninsula, this is sort of a hill-like thing. Then you have to climb down. No proper roads, no motorable roads. Then we had to abandon our car near the road, and then we had to walk through the field and then walk down that hill. The hill was adjacent to the beach.
Landed Godavne, and when I say land, I literally crashed on this beach because the water was rough about 3 kilometers out. By the beach, it was just stormy. And so I'm at the beach and I'm looking for a good way to land. And typically you would look for a big breaker in front of you, so that then once the wave breaks, you just dart in after it. And so I'm there, I've got my rudder up, so I've lost all directional control, and waiting for a wave to break in front of me, and a wave breaks right behind me. And it's a monster of a wave, and you can feel it coming, and it's just surging in on your sides, and you're looking left, right and center to figure out where it's coming from. And then the next thing you know is that it just flat out hits you, and it flips my kayak, and then for about 10 odd meters I'm just over my side and just being dragged out like that. And the wave is just so strong that it basically takes off my cap. I lose my glares. It even takes out my contact lens, and everything that's in the kayak is now outside. So I'm just like swimming there, collecting stuff, and the kayak is taken for a ride of its own. So it's just bobbing away for miles.